Hello and welcome. This is my 1999 Specialized Hardrock, which I bought in January of 2021 for the princely sum of $65. Yeah, 65 bucks US. Now, at the time it had mismatched wheels, a bald rear tire, and mismatched V-brakes. But those are not insurmountable obstacles, and the bike was in basically good shape, so I decided to upgrade it. I took a set of vintage Ritchey Vantage double wall wheels that I had, 26 inches, and I put a set of Schwalbe Black Jacks on them. They have a nice all-purpose knobbly tread. It still has the stock Shimano STX rear derailleur. However, because this rear rim has a 7-speed hub, when I went to upgrade the cassette with an 8-speed that I had, I could not use the 11-tooth high gear cog. But since I increased the low gear from 28 teeth to 32 teeth, I'm perfectly happy with that. Up front, well, a little more towards the front, I installed a set of Alivio square taper cranks and a Snail 30-tooth narrow wide chainring. So basically I turned this from a 3x7 to a 1x7. I do have plans in store for converting it to a 1x9, but that will happen later. The cockpit now consists of a 110 millimeter long wake stem with an 11-degree rise. Attached to it is a 685 millimeter wide handlebar. It's aluminum and it came off my 2008 Diamondback Response. Now the stock handlebar was a mere 565 millimeters wide, but you know, that was pretty much par for the course back in the 90s. And while the 685 isn't my preferred 720, which I use on my modern bikes, it's wider and it does kind of keep that vintage look intact. I also upgraded the shifter to a 7-speed Altus trigger shifter. I've had that thing forever and I really don't know where it came from, but it's better than the twist shifter that came on the bike. Braking is now handled by a pair of new Fomtor levers and a new set of Wake linear pull brakes. In keeping with the vintage look, I bought a reissued Selle Itialia Turbo saddle. Now these were the thing to have back in the 80s, and while I know this is a 1990s bike, I like the look of this saddle on this bike. It's really, really good. It's probably not a surprise to you, seeing the snow in this video, that most of my local trails are closed to anything other than a fat tire bike. Now while I do have one of those, this is not it. And I didn't want to wait until spring to do a check of the shifting. This is not exactly the kind of first ride that I wanted to do with the Hardrock, but I did want to take an opportunity to check the shifting and adjust it now if I need to. So I took it for a little spin down my road. Nothing exciting really, but I did notice shifting from low gear to high gear works fine. It's a little clunky at first going from a high gear back down to a low gear. So I ended up, after a little bit of finagling and a couple of on the fly, if you will, adjustments, increasing the tension on the barrel adjuster by 3/4 of a turn, and that seemed to pretty much smooth out the shifting. Now I am going to take a moment here to apologize for the heavy breathing. It was only like 26 degrees or so at the time that I was doing this ride, and candidly, that cold air was not doing my asthma a bit of good. So yeah, I am looking forward to spring. Just sitting here, tapping my fingers on the table, and it's like, come on, where's spring, where's spring? That aside, I am really pleased with the way this bike turned out. For a minimal investment, I mean, the only new parts I bought were cables and a pair of tires. This is a really good bike, and it also occurs to me, see, I'm always thinking sideways. That's not always a good thing, but I do have a pair of spare, albeit mismatched wheels, the right size and everything, that I could put some road style tires on this, and then maybe I'd have something that I could fool around on the roads with. Possibilities. Oh, well, you know, I could put sort of a compromise gravel type tire on it. Something to think about, because, you know, I don't have enough to do with my spare time. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Below left is a link to the playlist for this bicycle, and below right is a link to another video that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy. And as always, seriously, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate that. It makes it so much more fun for me. Have a wonderful day.